Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday night to you in rainy New York. I hope they get this Met game underway on time. Not sure. I'm going to throw it on now, but wanted to do a watch party. Now, you're going to not actually be watching the game here, but you will be watching the comments because if I put the game on here, I won't be on anymore. They'll strike me. But I hope you're all doing well. A lot to talk about. I told you last week, early on last week, I believe that the Mets were throwing the analytics a bit out the window with the pitchers, and it came out today on a couple of Met content providers' casts. So we knew that first, and I hope you shared it with them. But also, I had made a comment on my page with posts about the football program. And the football program will be the sports membership only shows that I do, and that will be for college and football choices and leans and likes and all that. If you hit me up with lovethehits@gmail.com, you can get the premier package. You'll have personal access to me for your own sports entertainment value. If you like a game and you want me to do some research, see what my people in Vegas like or dislike about it, I'm all there for you. Okay. But if you look at the memberships for the sports membership package, that's per month. That's a membership that will be membership only for Friday nights and Saturday nights, where I will give you games that we are using. They won't be the top games, but they will be games that just didn't make our cut for our players. And it certainly will be beneficial for you. Okay, so I will be back in a bit. Hi, Octavia. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Octavia Grace, a wonderful, sweet, beautiful woman from across the pond. How are you? I hope you're doing well, Octavia. Am I imagining it, or were you getting married? I don't know if that was a dream but I thought I remembered something about you getting married. Is that the case? If it is, congratulations. And he has himself a hell of a girl. And I hope he, if it is true, is appreciative because you're terrific. I know you're good to see you. Good to see you. Are you still in Ireland? And if you are, my next question is, what are you doing up close to midnight? But I'm glad you came in. I think about you. I honestly do. We go back a long way, you and I. And I actually speak Octavia. Octavia language, for those of you who will be watching. Octavia says things very colloquial, and she has a wonderful way of describing things. And I've spoken to her on the phone. She's a wonderful woman, intelligent, and just really, really a breath of fresh air. And there were times when I was down, and she was as well. And we would talk, and after an hour on the phone, felt much better. She's really that kind of person. So thank you for coming in, sweetie. I will be back in a bit. I'll be coming in and out, but officially we start at 9, but I put this out here so you guys can talk. Yes, that's right, sideways. That's what you used to say. Some people are saying, oh, really, sideways? You sure you've never seen Irvin? But it's good to see you. And yeah, I love you, Octavia, and I think about you very often. I truly do. She's one of my OGs. When I first started 5, 6 years ago, it seems like 100 years ago when I started, Octavia was one of the first people in here. And she sent me a beautiful gift. She's just a wonderful, wonderful woman. And I'm so happy you came in, Octavia. I'll see you all in a bit. Let's go Mets. I think they're a bit overmatched tonight, but we will see. One of my plays for my players in the Premier Package Club for baseball was Mizorowski over 8.5 strikeouts tonight. I gave it as a 1-unit play. So if you run fast, you got a free play from me. Absolutely, Octavia. You could send a song, of course. But I will be back in. I'll check it out in a bit. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. I will see you later. I have a lot of information on Green. Yeah, a bit overmatched, Joe. Bit overmatched. If I had to guess Mizorowski's stats tonight, I'm going to, and I was close yesterday with stock. I'm going to say 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, 94 pitches. The only way he doesn't get at least 9 strikeouts tonight, in my opinion, is if the Brewers have a 5 or 6-0 lead in the 5th inning and they pull him after 5. That's 70 pitches. This way they can rest him a bit. But no, I think they'll get a hit or 2, Joe. But, can they get a run across in 5? Yeah, they can. Robert's been hot. You could 100-mile-an-hour fastball if you happen to hit it. And you raise, if you loft it, it's going to go out. If a guy like Robert, turns around 101-mile-an-hour fastball. Hey, Roy, how are you, man? Yes, Bobo, I told you. Bobo's going to be out a bit. Yeah, I was told that actually Bobo went for a CAT scan today at hospital special surgery for his foot. I can tell you that much, and I can tell you that unofficially it was clear, but the doctor hadn't read it as of he took it at 11 o'clock. And we'll see. But I think he's okay. But they would definitely, I told you last night, the guy told me they're arresting him today. David Alchek wasn't in today. Their orthopedist is Dr. Galota through hospital special surgery. He was one of the guys that worked on my knee. And yeah, they just want to do a CAT scan. A CAT scan, was it? A bone scan, CAT scan, something they did. I think September 5th he'll be back, Joe. But yeah, my guy last night when he went down told me, yeah, Bichette's definitely out tomorrow because he's going to the doctor. But they didn't think anything. They wanted 3D X-rays today, and they couldn't do that. They have an X-ray machine at City Field in the basement, but they couldn't do the 3-way scan, and they wanted to do that, and that's at the hospital special surgery. And they wanted the ortho guy to look at them. So no news is good news, I guess. I didn't hear anything. And I told you guys early last week, that they were throwing away the analytics. Did I not? Well, it came out today. If you watched Wardy or anyone else, yes, the Mets have decided that's why they were pushing their pitchers starting last Monday when I told you. They're going to push them to uncomfortable plateaus. They want to see what they have. Hey, Rob. I'm so glad you came in, my friend. I am not charging membership for these shows for Ranger post games. When I did your brother's band Foreigner, the Stones, or anything like that, I'm not charging for that stuff, Rob. I have a premier service. I deal with professional handicappers in Las Vegas for pro and college football, along with basketball and stuff. I used to move games in Vegas in the 90s. Billy Walters, that whole MIT, we used to call them the Kosher Nostra, joking around. They're mathematical geniuses. And I deal with them in Las Vegas. For those picks, I charge. But what I decided to do, because it does get pricey, it does. What I did was, I think it's $24.99 membership just for that. It's called the Sports Premier, whatever. And that membership will give you on Friday evenings and Saturday evenings, I will give you the picks that, generally speaking, when they handicap 3 games on a Sunday, right, that they go with, they'll give me 3 picks on a Sunday, right? They had 5 of them they were really looking at. Usually there's 5 or 6 games that are very of interest, but they have to narrow it down, and the computer generates the best whatever they've put together, algorithm wise, all that. It spits out a power rating for that game. And what happens is usually they'll say, I'm just saying there's 3 games. Game 4 and 5 might be a half a percentage point off that they're not using it. Well, those are the games. No, that's okay, Rob. I just wanted you to know. I never wanted you to think that. And honestly, if I was doing a membership, I would front you. You're a friend of mine. Never listen. If someone is on um, limited income or social, please, that's fine. But don't worry about it, Rob. I'm glad you came in here to hear that. Of course, I'd want you on here, and I would make sure you had access to it. Believe me, you and I have a lot in common. And anyone who is having, first of all, if people are having issues, they shouldn't be gambling. That's number one. But I do have over 100 clients. It went up, well, actually, it went down 6 from last year. And we had a very good year last year. We were up 89 units last year. So if your one unit is $100, you made almost 9,000 last year. And we do well. Oh, really, Rob? Oh, I hope she's okay. I had a friend, Errol, who about 20 years ago had a heart transplant, and he was always he was on the medications that he was very susceptible to getting sick. Anti-rejection medications. So your heart isn't rejected by your body, but with that anti-rejection medications, you get sick. You get colds and pneumonia. You have to watch. I hope she's okay, Rob. And you never have to say you're sorry to me, my friend. You're a top tier friend of my channel and a friend of mine. Um, Good. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Octavia. God bless you too, sweetie. So let me get this TV on. I'll stay in here a little bit with you. Good night. So, yeah, so I told you last week that my friend had talked to Carlos Beltran. He just got back from vacation, and that they were doing away with some of the analytics. Now, my friend wasn't sure what they meant by it. And pretty much what they I'm always correct, Robert. What do you think? I have this channel for my health? I'm joking around with you. Believe me, I'm so much more wrong than correct. That's why I need you guys in here to correct me. But yeah, I told you last week that in that meeting, they're going away from the conventional analytics. The Mets have actually come up with a different system that Green has been working on. And it's very, very interesting. It has to do more with mathematical basis of comparative players now. They're using something called the supremium. It's like a least bound. I'm a math guy. It's the smallest real number that is greater than or equal to the element, the subset. So what they're doing is they're trying to use an axiom. There's something called the completeness axiom, where like every non-empty set of real numbers is bounded above as a superm in R and all that. And what the Mets are doing is they've decided to build a system around players with previous injuries. Now they can't use, because of HIPAA laws, individuals, but Major League Baseball has records of players when they're put on the IL. You have to submit now the transcripts from the doctor so they know there's no hiding players. And they've come up with a system where players' basic age within 18 months, same graded injury within 5 percentage points, injury history, ethnicity, and they go all the way back from high school years. And they come up with a theorem of your prospects of getting injured or re-injuring. They've taken it a step further, the Mets. They're taking it now on a case-by-case basis with players in your organization. And they want to see what the common denominator is. Is it a coincidence that over the last 7 years, the Mets have had 5 players that needed Tommy John? Could be. Now, I could throw at you why it might not be. Okay. Generally speaking, if your relievers average 98 miles an hour and the other team's relievers average 96, you have a 23% chance, if they are over 28 years of age, of needing Tommy John in the next 24 months. If you have had Tommy John before the age of 23, usually within 60 to 70 months, you'll need a second one. And these were stats that my friend gave me, just as examples. So the Mets are leaning on analytics with gut reaction. They're going to use the eye test a little more because analytics doesn't measure heart, competitiveness. And the Mets feel, part of the front office, not everybody, feels that the Mets probably haven't trained their younger players to be as tough as some other players. They've run the statistics. So the long-winded answer was guys like Brett Beatty and Alvarez and Tong are softer than players from other organizations that have the same base talent level. They're softer. The Met 21-year-old is basically a 19-year-old, not a 23-year-old. And they've seen it. You've seen it with Tong. Tong, look at a perfect example. Look at Tong at 21 being interviewed and go back and look at Bryce Harper at 18 being interviewed. A little bit of a difference. Tong was as highly regarded in the minor leagues last year, number one pitcher in all of minor leagues, as Bryce Harper was as a hitter. You see the difference? The Met players, the problem isn't that they're not developed correctly. The problem is they are not developed to take the next step. I could develop a high school senior. I'll give you a perfect example. Press 1 if you want a good analogy. This will know you're listening to me. We'll see if you're listening to me and if you want to hear this. I'll give you the example of how certain minor league systems prepare you better than others. Starting lineup today: Jackson Churio, Luis Lara, William Contreras, Andrew Vaughn. Back at first base, Gary Sanchez, old friend Gary Sanchez. Sean Manaea on the mound, 4.31 ERA. He's been good. Knocked down his walks a bit. And base hit right through the middle. Okay, Rob. If you go to Catholic school, and you go to a Catholic school where you had to stay in the schoolyard, you could never go anywhere, and you're in the same classroom for 6 grades. When you go to 7th grade and you go to public school, and all of a sudden you can leave the schoolyard, you could have lunch any way you want, you have that freedom, you go crazy. You were not prepared. Most of those kids will not do as well scholastically as they did in their previous year because of all the newfound freedom. They don't know what to do with it, and they're not mentally mature enough to work it out until a year or so. When you are from a Catholic school, I'm just using Catholic school as an example. You're from a Catholic school where in 6th grade, they start letting you get a little freedom. You'll adjust a lot quicker the next year going to the public school. Well, the Met players are not reaching maturity level that other teams' minor leaguers are. And when the Met young players who are terrific in the minors take the next step, they're going into the schoolyard with no supervision. They don't know how to act. They are just lost. Very rarely are there veterans that really want to bother with the rookies. They're nice to them, but the hazing is a thing of the past. But you don't speak really. You don't call a meeting if you just came up. I want to tell people. No one listens to you. You have to earn that trust. So they're lost. They feel like sheep. They don't know who to follow. They know the superstar is a guy that they probably looked up to 5 years before, when they were playing in high school. So they're enamored. They don't know how to speak. They don't know how to act. I know Green has said that he didn't think the Mets were preparing their players properly to make the next step and make it successfully. They're going to work on that. Sometimes you have to let your pitcher get beat up a little. You don't take him out. You don't take him out necessarily off a great effort if he can learn something and it can be called a good effort. Am I better off letting Jonathan go 5 innings of 1-run ball or him giving up a 3-run homer in the 6th inning and learning from that and knowing what he can't do? The Mets were so just hell-bent on letting guys succeed. They didn't toughen them up. They let a guy like Brett Beatty succeed, and he wasn't ready. He wasn't trained right in the minor leagues. And like I said, if 5 guys in your organization need Tommy John, did you draft wrong? Was it a misnomer? Was it an outlier? Well, when you have 5 guys that were in the top 60 baseball prospectus and none of them have worked out, there's a problem. Now you go to other teams and look at the last 5 guys they've had in 10 years that were a top 60 prospect, and how many of them have worked out? Right? Yeah, Brett Beatty, Mark Vientos, Jonathan, countless players who just have never taken the next step. They'll show glimpses, and that's because they're just talented. They're going, a talented player is going to hit a bad fastball and hit it out. But I think that from an organizational standpoint, first of all, Chavez, the hitting coach, thought that Alvarez needed to make more contact, concentrate with 2 strikes and going to right field instead of turning on the ball. He felt you didn't have to pull the ball for success. Well, most players that are successful pull the ball. He screwed Alvarez up so much, I don't know if Alvarez is ever going to be the same. He tinkered with Alvarez's swing to the point where Alvarez never got the loft back. He tinkered with Beatty's swing. Beatty hit home runs in the minor leagues. Beatty can't elevate the ball now. So if you look at the organizational mission statement, it's going to change. I told you guys last week, it was reported today by a couple of the Mets podcasters, but I told you last week that the days of babying the pitchers are over. Green decided that we're not helping these pitchers by shielding them. Let them give up the grand slam, and instead of going 6 innings of 1-run ball, let them not get out of the 7th giving up 5-run ball. They'll learn from that grand slam more than they will from the 6 innings of 1-run ball. And now they have the data to prove it. And they've been really working with this. And Cohen wants answers. He wants to know why our pitches have all gone down. Why have we taken such a step back? He actually said it last month when he did his interview, that he is very concerned with the minor leagues and what has happened to them. This went from a minor league system that was really progressing to now Clippard, which I don't think he was ever that good, but nothing. Tongs regressed. So many players, Jacob Reimer, guys that they thought could actually come up this September and help. Mauricio, and I know that Cohen is very annoyed with Mauricio. He doesn't understand why Mauricio just hasn't taken the next step forward. They blamed it on the knee injury because he has lost a step. His sprint speed has lost 0.2. And going to his right, he's lost a step. He was a really good defensive third baseman for a time with the Mets, and then he couldn't get to anything. And they blamed that on the knee. And they don't honestly know if it's ever going to come back. They're blaming Lindor's lack of range on he's gained some weight, rehabbing. This is just a good team, this Milwaukee team. If they try to pull that ball, it's a double play. Bond's a good hitter. Yeah, this is a bad matchup for guys like Stock and Manaea. So, we spoke about this last week. The Met pitchers now will start getting pushed a bit because, he wants to know what he has. And also, we'll talk about Green possibly being the next general manager. That has been overblown a bit. Has been offered to be put in the ring if he wants it. Oh, thought he had him. 2-0. So we'll see what happens. No, not Ray. This is not a good matchup for them. Well, honestly, the matchup. I don't know why he didn't come in and catch that ball. Um, the matchup is not good for a lot of pitchers. This team is a good hitting team. They're top five in everything but home runs. When I see a team that doesn't hit home runs, that they're pretty much low on the list and they're going to win 100 games, they either have great defense, they put the ball in play, or a couple of 300 hitters. This team has everything. They don't match up well against anybody. Well, Ray, I can tell you right now, he doesn't have the fastball he's had over the last 5 or 6 starts. I don't know what he's throwing at, but he's certainly not throwing as hard as he was. What was that, 93? All right. It's close. But that 93 mile fastball looked a lot different than the 95 last week, a couple of weeks ago. If you notice, the ride on the fastball is not moving. That's a good pitch. And Lindor squeezes it. And you have Mizorowski coming in. So we'll look later at Green and the possibilities. I was told from someone that I trust that if Green does take the GM job, David Ross will either be manager or bench coach. I know, Andrew. I saw that. I saw that. Well, Beltran is definitely going to be manager. The only way Beltran isn't the manager is if Green actually digs his heels in, gets the GM job, and says he wants David Ross. I don't think Beltran would take the bench coach job. But yeah, I told you guys for a while, Beltran accepted. It was twofold. He's very, very close to Mendoza's family, and he didn't want to backdoor him that way. And plus, he was going on a big vacation after the Hall of Fame with his wife, given to him by the Mets as a gift. And he didn't want to come here and then miss 3 weeks as the manager. But Wardy's right if he's reporting that, because my guy is in the clubhouse and he reported it. I think they're split on the GM because Green is definitely going to want David Ross involved in this coaching staff. Do I think that Ross would take bench coach? Not sure, because I think Ross is going to have some interesting choices as manager. I think Roberts might retire. If Roberts retires, I was told Cora is going to LA. But David Ross will have some interest. Oh my God, what was that, 110? I'm not sure, Andrew. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask my buddy. This Mizorowski is some yeah, I believe Woodward is a coach, right? Yeah, well, they look very highly upon Chris Woodward. I know Beltran does, but I don't know. They might have spoke to Woodward. Woodward might have said no. See, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm sure they're having conversations with people. Ewing got around on that fastball. If I had to bet right now, Beltran would be the manager. As for the GM, I think Green has the GM job. I think he's on a short list. You see, a lot could change because I'll tell you why. Green could decide he likes managing. Now he has little kids, so I don't think that he's going to want to have to travel a lot. GMs don't necessarily travel with the team. They usually they'll go to the West Coast sometimes, the GMs. But I think that Green is very close to David Ross. And I would think that he'd want. And let's see. Oh, I thought that was just a home run. That's a. Mizorowski's got some I'd like to bet an over and under when he's going to need Tommy John. So, yeah, David Ross, I think, will be on the staff next year. I'm not sure where, though. I think you have a chance of losing Kai Correa. The Mets could very well lose Kai Correa. Yeah, I saw that, Ray. I bet over 8.5 strikeouts for Woodward. But it should be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting offseason with the strike looming and all that. Look at Carson Bench, 281. I wouldn't have believed that Bench would hit 280, honestly. They were high on him, but they didn't offer him the job. No, I bet 8.5 strikeouts for Mizorowski. That was one of the plays that I gave the players. I had him for 10 today. 6 innings, 10 strikeouts. 92 pitches. That's what I figured. We'll see what happens here. Maybe he'll come out of here with 2. So it's going to be an interesting offseason. David Stearns has a lot of decisions to make. And Andy Green is going to be in on all those decisions. That's why who better than him to be the GM? Right? He's going to know every player. So if he's going to make trades, who better than Andy Green, who has sat there for half a season evaluating, watching every day these guys practice in the gym, all that. 3. Right. Now, you see what he was just doing, Benj, with his right hand? Benj hurt his wrist when he crashed into the wall a couple of weeks ago. He's been getting treatment on his wrist. Mets are getting good swings on Mizorowski. I don't know, Andrew. It's a great question. I think he knows players. Look, no one knows the minor league system better than Green. And now he's going to know the major league players. All right, I got 2 strikeouts in the first inning. He's going to strike out 10 probably. So we'll see what happens. Should be interesting. Green will probably be okay. I think Green has learned a lot since he managed the Padres. I think he's very, very well liked. And I wasn't told that. I'm just guessing. I think he's well liked. And I would expect him to be very involved with this team. But at this point, I think that he pretty much can almost do what he wants. Yeah, I think 10. Well, the line is 8.5, Ray. I gave it out to the players over 8.5. But it should be interesting. The Mets have a lot of decisions to make, and I hope that Green is involved in them because he's done a very good job. It seems like the players like him. The players seem to like him. And they're all playing for him. They certainly are. They're playing hard for him. We'll see when Soto comes back. I want to now. I will tell you this much that I was thinking about. Ray, I'm still weak. Thank you for asking. This makes me feel better being on here with you guys. Um, I think Green is the perfect manager to be between Beltran and Soto. I really do. I think he's a very calming voice. You know what I like about him? He doesn't have the canned Stearns answer. Mendoza, it was like Stearns standing there when you heard Mendoza. I think that Green is his own man. I hope so, Ray. I hope you guys have a good time in here. I truly do. I do try to get you, information that other content providers don't have. And honestly, I don't make any money in this. It's just that I like you guys to notice where you can, you're big Met fans. And whatever I find out, I pass on to you. And the thing is, the guys that I deal with, I know years and years. There's no reason for me to think they're bullshitting me. I know they did have a conversation with Soto. They weren't thrilled that he wanted to come back. But it's ultimately his decision. Yes, we could, Ray. Ray, where do you live? Email me. I'll give you my cell number. Yeah, definitely. I'd like to be friends with you. Email me and I'll send you my cell phone number. But this team, look, there's a lot of positives coming out of here. I think they're showing. I think the younger players are showing some heart. They don't seem. I don't think Benj is soft, nor is Ewing. I think they're young. Well, I think Ewing is very young. He comes off very young. But I think they have a real shot to do good things next year. Look, obviously they need help. But I do think with the right process and everyone on the same page and Stearns not thinking, hey, Tuck. Oh, thank you, Tuck. You're very welcome. I think that if Stearns doesn't get giddy over Zach Thornton giving you 5 innings of 1-run ball, and he doesn't say, well, we have our number 3 starter, I think we'll be good. I think he's learned his lesson. I don't think he will. I think he wants to save face a little, Stearns. And I think that's where someone like Green comes in. Where Green, see, Stearns is not a talent evaluator. He did draft Benj, which was a good move. But I think Green is a guy that'll say, David, you're right. He's really talented, but we're never going to get what we should out of him. Is it better to sell him, trade him, and get something that could help us more? Like Alvarez. I don't think Alvarez is ever going to be a star here. I think Alvarez can go somewhere else and be a 25-80 guy every year, and he threw the ball away. Ay. See, I just don't get it. Like how you can't throw a ball 35 feet. Oh, he's on the wrong leg. That's why. Oh, I'm sorry, Ray. Tuck, it goes for you too. It goes for all of you. Love the hits. at Gmail. Absolutely, and I'll yeah, let's touch base and talk. If you're football fans, we could have fun during the football season. See, this is ridiculous. And now that era, and a 2-run homer. Terrible matchup for them. This you're starting to see the last 2 days why the Brewers are the 100-win team. You like the music thing? Good. I'm glad, Ray. I'm actually going to do one later tonight. If you guys recommend, like, to review an album or a band or something, tell me what you like. I was going to do review the last Billy Joel song, the new one from a couple of years ago, and a couple of older artists' last songs. Yeah, well, you talk. The thing is, you can't give teams like this an extra out because they're going to take advantage of it. They're a high contact team. They play good defense. They go first to third as well as anybody in baseball. And they have top 3 manager in Pat Murphy. You saw he benched the guy. He doesn't take any crap. He's a good manager. But yeah, I'm going to review a couple of artists and their last songs and how it stands up to their earlier career. Have they adjusted to new crowds? Now that streaming services, you don't buy albums anymore. You just download the song you like. But there are a couple of McCartney's album, Billy Joel, the Stones. We'll look at some songs. So I'm going to do that later tonight. Hey, Ray, I got it. Let me answer you. And I just sent mine over to you. You're a movie fanatic, Ray, huh? Well, maybe I can compare because I'm going to be home tonight. I'm not feeling great, so maybe I'll Oh, I got it. I'm going to compare 3 comedy mob movies. How's that? That's what I'm going to do. Yes, I'm going to compare the Pope of Greenwich Village a movie Brooklyn Rules, which is an excellent movie, and another one. Yeah, that'll be actually a good show. I could actually combine both of them, the music and the movies. How's that? I'll be right back, everyone. Okay. Hey, Buffalo. AI is taking over already. Hey, Jeff. How are you? Good to see you in here. Thank you for coming in. Jeff, it's terrible to spend this kind of money. Even if you ate dinner before you go there, and even if you didn't park, say you didn't even park, and say even you got a ticket for $10. If you want a drink and a hot dog, you're spending 50. It's incredible. Yeah, you see the problem when you're out of it and you're evaluating talent, You want to see every single situation of every player on your roster. That's the problem. That's the worst part of it. That it's almost like a game of musical chairs. Who could go to sit without falling? That's what it is. So the show I'm going to do later tonight is going to be two parts, and it's going to be comparing three mob movies that have a little comedy in them, and we might just start with that. Yeah, you're right, Jeff. Well, why is he punting, Tunk? What did he do? We didn't remove anybody. William Contreras going to knock in 100 this year. One of the Contrerases is not a good guy. I forget which one it is. But yeah, you had to get out of the first. Even if it was 2-0, you had a shot. When's the last time Mizorowski gave up 4 runs? Oh, okay. That sounds good. Bullets over Broadway. Very good. We'll compare these, how they compare to more serious movies and the elements that they used for these movies to make them funny and the acting and all that. That's a good idea. So that will be it. Good pitch. It's a shame Mania gave up that front homer. Here's the pitch. And this is another game where you're going to say, well, once they'll say, well, he wish you could have that pitch back. Yeah, no shit. Good pitch. I'll tell you something. You watch these games, and it's just so frustrating. Okay, so we're out of there. Mizorowski has 3 strikeouts in 2 innings. Got to pick up 2 in this inning. I'll be back in a bit. That was a wasted ground ball, no strikeout. Smizerowski is some incredible that guys could actually throw this hard and just unbelievable. So tonight I'll be doing a show about 3 mob movies that are really terrific, under the radar movies. I think you'll enjoy it. 3 and 1. Not a walk. He doesn't look that sharp. See if the Mets actually could put something together. One and one. Mizerowski looks like he's having a problem with that mound. He's stumbling all over the place. Yeah, there he is, trying to get it. Yeah, oh, his foot's slipping. Oh, he could hurt a hamstring doing that. Yeah, Ray, it would be. He doesn't like the mound, you can tell. He's having a tough time. This is the kind of ace we need. Good pitch. See, when he throws a get you over fastball, it's 98 miles an hour. That was a good pitch. Yeah, it looked like a strike. Looked like it might have just caught the corner. Yeah, it's 2-2. Yeah, Ray. And double play. I think I'm going to lose that Mizerowski bet. Yeah, Alvarez is terrible. He's really bad. So, if you are looking for the sports handicapping, if you're someone who bets football, I have a couple of different memberships on this page. And what I have is let me just see here. Out to my decision makers. I'm going to be doing some more members only shows. And let me just do the breakdown here. I'll tell you exactly what we're going to be doing. The football package will be Friday nights. I'll be giving you Saturday games that are not best bets from Vegas, but just missed their selection process. The top advisors, it's called, and that's definite access to me and all that. I thought just looking here, I thought I labeled it differently. I'm looking for the levels because I actually did name it something so you'd know it was the football. I definitely had named it. It was under top advisors. It's let's see here. Maybe it didn't take. Okay, it should be called sports handicapping. It's $24.99 a month. With that, you will get games for Saturday for college, for Sunday on Saturday nights. I'll do the Sundays. These are games that don't quite hit the premiere, which we charge a lot more for, but you will get a dedicated members only cast with those choices, those selections. I'll tell you how to bet them, and access to me. So if you need me for a game that you like, you want me to talk to my people in Vegas and see what they think about it, I'll absolutely do that for you. Okay, so we'll do that and we'll get you going. We're very good in NFL. William, tonight, I don't see him. You know what's interesting, guys? I had a friend, Joe Cotrain. And Joe, we met. He was from Massachusetts. I met his daughter. Great guy. All of a sudden, he disappeared. I called his phone. I called, left messages. Meanwhile, he's still a member. I hope that he's okay. Don't know what's wrong, but just a terrific guy. I'm going to go make a cup of coffee and come back. I'll see you in a bit. Hi, everyone. How are you? I'm back. Armed with coffee, cleaned the mic with Lysol. Every time I get out, they pull me back in. Thank you, Ray. Yeah, I thought Curry was history too. Hey, Jeff. How are you again? Yeah, look, that's what you get from guys like Minaya. They'll be good for 3 or 4 outings because he matched up well with them. And then when he pitches to a good team that has good bat control. They make contact. They squeeze them. They're not going to swing at bad pitches. That's what you get. He caused a little of the problem today himself. He threw the ball away, which is no excuse for that. And then a 2-run homer right after. A veteran should be able to throw the ball 30 feet. But then again, we had Alonso at first, so we know that's not true. But yeah, this is very, very aggravating. I'll tell you why it's aggravating, because you really see the difference between a good team and a team that's marginal. You see the difference, just so outclassed, really outclassed. That was a good pitch. I lost my Mizorowski bet, I think. So, yeah, just so outclassed. And it wasn't supposed to be, not with this kind of payroll. And I will tell you, I don't blame this on Soto being out of the lineup. Now you're facing probably the Cy Young Award winner in the National League. Okay. And they did score a couple off him. And he didn't strike out 10 like I thought he would. So they put some competitive at bats. He didn't have any control. You could see that he really struggled with the mound tonight. Maybe it was done intentionally, but he just couldn't get comfortable on the mound. Pretty scary when he looks terrible and he gives up 2 right over 6. But there's just so much that we have to do to make this team more competitive. And it starts with David Stearns. It starts with understanding that you can't always go to the bargain rack for pitching, because you are once in a while, perfect example. I need a system. I have a portable, when I do a bar or a club or whatever, portable Yamaha Passport, where it's I don't know, maybe 24 inches high. The speakers attach and you can take them off. You put them on stands. It's 150, 300 watts. It's fine for a small venue. The bigger one, that is great. The bigger one is black and it's 300, 600 watts. Better unit. I saw it new for about 1100, used for about 899. Open box, blemished. I don't know what that means, blemished. Is that the open box, or did someone take a hammer to it and said, screw it, let's bring it back? I don't know. You take the chance when you buy something blemished. If I buy it with a limited warranty, which isn't going to be like a new unit, and after a month and a half, one of the channels go, who am I going to argue with? And that's pretty much what David Stearns does. David Stearns shops on eBay, hoping that it looks all shiny and new and it was polished up when he takes it out of the shipping box. Hopes it works properly. And like a used car. Remember the used cars? They used to throw Mystic oil. The oil in it lubricated, and the engine sounded quiet. It sounded like a new engine. It could have 500,000 miles on it. For a month, the engine sounded great because you put this Mystic or mystery oil, I remember, before you sold the car. So the engine sounded great. You didn't hear tie rods or whatever they're called, pistons, And That's what you're getting when you get something that has mileage on it, that appears shiny and new. If I buy something that has had transmission problems in the past, should I really be surprised if I bring it in, it's making a noise? There's a problem with the transmission, right? Vin, why are you shocked? You've been in here twice in the last year and a half for transmission problems. And that's the problem with David Stearns. David Stearns will save 25% on the passport unit that I need, hoping that it doesn't give out. My first question is, why did someone return it? If it's blemished, how long do you have to return an item? So what, you drop it and say it doesn't work right, I'm just going to say I don't want it anymore? And it's within the warranty? And these are the things I worry about. I worry about David Stearns buying a used item, and it's been great for 2 months, and then he books a big wedding to do with the big item, and the item breaks down. Right? If you bought a used car, sounds great, looks great, 100,000 miles on it. You think you'd drive to California with it? I don't know. Would you drive to California in a car that you just picked up off the showroom lot? I've learned that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Look at the Mets. And I just think, I have to think that David Stearns learned his lesson. That he knows that Jan's not going to bring you to a World Series. Daniel Nunez, Garrett, and Tyler McGill are not going to give you a top 5 bullpen next year, because they had little stretches in their Met career that they were dominant. Not at all, Ray. It's not on Soto. They're outmanned. This team is much more talented than they are. And you had a pitcher on the mound that's going to win the Cy Young Award. I'm surprised. I told you, I thought they'd get a run or two off him, right? In the beginning of the game. I figured they'd get him for 1 or 2, a couple of hits. But I knew it wouldn't be enough, because I figured the Mets would be probably losing. The problem with the Mets is they're not automatic outs. What they are, they're automatic outs when the game's on the line. When Simeon's up with the bases loaded, 2 out in the bottom of the 9th to tie the game, Simeon's not tying the game. Where Milwaukee has someone up, you think you have a shot. You have 3 players in this lineup that are hitting 220. Brett Beatty has been hot as hell. I don't even think he's hitting 230 yet. You can't go to war with these guys. You can't do it. You have Alvarez who's hitting 250. You have Ewing's down to 245. 5 of your starters have OPSs under 700. How are you going to command any attention with that? You don't pitch to 1 or 2 players, and you have the rest. This Milwaukee team, they don't strike out. And the Mets have done a nice job putting the ball in play tonight. They have. Okay, now the Mets have runners at first and second. Bottom of the 7th, there's 1 out. I'm being hard. Mizrowski's not in the game. There is no reason that a good team doesn't score 1 run right now. Not saying 2. 1 run. The problem is, Tuck, they've had 3 different messages the last 4 years with their batting coaches. I know Chavez took Alvarez and said, you don't have to keep on trying to pull home runs. Hit to the right side with 2 strikes. You know what he did? He screwed up his swing so much that he's never been the same. That's why Chavez was – actually, that's one of the main reasons Chavez was let go. They blame him for Alvarez. That I know for a fact because I spoke to someone, Omar. They blame him for Alvarez. They said Alvarez went from a guy that looked like he was going to hit 30 home runs and a guy that can't make contact anymore. You can't screw up with young players' heads when they're 23 years of age, when they've been doing something since they're 15. And then when they try to get back to where they were, they can't. You've screwed them up. That's the problem. Now, this is the problem. 6-2, first and second one out. You have Brett Beatty up. If you had anyone else in Milwaukee's lineup in, you have a shot to get at least a run here. Brett Beatty usually isn't out. He's down now 0-2. Next is either a strikeout or a double play. Yeah, the Mets are a lemon. But 2 changes could make them a viable option. Right now, I'll give you a perfect example. Right now, if you had Alex Bregman playing third base up now, and you had a better hitting catcher, or you had a good hitter up, be a different game. What is he saying? Oh, my friend told me Bichette is probably going to pinch hit. Well, when are they going to use him? He thinks Bichette's going to pinch hit. When would he pitch hit, though? Man, there's a strikeout. I don't know why we have to keep on seeing Brett Beatty. Enough already with Brett Beatty. Jesus Christ. When do we take it out of hell? I don't know. He said he thought. Who's up? Christopher Morel. Yeah, sure, Seth. There you go, buddy. We'll have our friend Seth on. We'll talk some baseball. Yeah, Ray, I'm sick of seeing. I don't know what they have to look at. I don't get it. Like, how much do you have to look at this guy? And you know what they're going to say? There's no one else to put out there. Oh, yeah.
What is the logic with this lineup tonight? I mean, don't get me wrong. I figured this team was going to lose that either way against Miz, against Mizorowski.
So did I.
But there was no reason to structure the lineup like this tonight.
He wants to see everyone.
Screw that.
Look, I don't know why Morel's playing because Bichette's hurt. But you know what? I don't get it. How many? Bring up the rookies. I know. Screw the service time. Jesus Christ. He wipes his ass with $100 bills, Cohen. Who cares about the service time already? Give the fans something to be happy about.
And what's more frustrating is that going into 27, if we even have a season in 27, instead of owning up to his mistake and firing Stern, he's doubling down and keeping that little bastard.
I know. Well, they're going to hide him because they're hiring GM. You'll never see Stearns talk once they have a GM.
I would
He'll
rather
be
just
out
stick
of
a crowbar in the Stearns. I'd rather just stick a crowbar in the Stearns' skull and be done with it.
because then you go to jail. I don't want that. I need you around. How you doing? Everything okay?
Fine, I've lost a few pounds.
Have you?
Pounds.
Really? Oh, God. You're trying to?
Actually have lost a bit. And it's popped up, inning over. Or it's a drop. No, it's a pop-up, inning over.
Why did you, are you trying to lose weight?
Let's just say my mom went a little overboard because my liver enzyme levels are high.
Oh, you told me that.
I said this about 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, like
you
3
did.
weeks ago.
Did you get checked again? Your blood work or no?
No. No.
But you said the doctor wasn't worried, right?
The only problem I have outside the liver enzymes is low muscle tone.
Oh, is that what that causes?
Everything else is fine. No, it's just I don't work out a lot. My
okay.
muscle tone has deteriorated pretty sufficiently.
Yeah. That's no good.
Anyway, I have been working out with predominantly cardio workouts for the last 2 or 3 weeks
That'll knock the weight down.
with a little bit of lightweight,
Good.
with a little lightweight lifting
Okay.
at home.
And you feel good?
Sign up with a it's just I mean, the last time I tried to lose weight, I went full-blown anorexic. Because
Really?
my siblings like to mock me because I'm the hefty set one in the family.
What do
When
you
you
mean?
consider my half sister, try not to eat a lot,
But you
try
got
to
that
starve
thin? Did you?
myself. No,
Oh,
not that thin.
oh, okay.
Not stick level thin, but
Right. But you're a big guy.
I mean, so I've been cutting back on my meals. I mean, the last thing I had to eat today was something I made yesterday.
Well, just try to eat good.
Well, I mean, I did. I mean, given what I made yesterday, which was a steam fried salmon.
Okay. That's good. That's a good meal.
And one would ask, how do you steam and fry a salmon at the same time?
Yeah. How do you do that?
Wouldn't they? Well, in the book I have, you're supposed to, after you throw in 3 salmon fillets, a quarter head of cabbage that's been roughly chopped up, some carrot, short strips, and some onions, along with some sake, although I used rice wine vinegar,
Mm-hmm.
soy miso paste, even though I use Worcester sauce, salt, and white pepper. You're supposed to put tinfoil oil at the top, around the top of the pan, with a hole in the center, so it would steam out.
Right.
And you also need a little vegetable oil on medium heat. I know vegetable oil not healthy. I should have used olive oil, but the book said strictly said vegetable oil.
Okay. Vegetable oil is good. Olive oil is better than vegetable oil?
You're supposed to put, but it's canola oil. Go for the African extra virgin olive oil, the highest polyphenol count.
Probably expensive too, right?
Yes, like $15 a bottle where
Wow.
I live.
So that's probably more here.
Then you put it around the top. You cover enough to where where it's over the top of the frying pan. Leave a hole in the center so the steam vents out of it.
Right.
Kind of like makeshifting into a salmon tagine. Even though I don't have a tagine pot.
What? I never heard of it.
Tagine's an African dish. It's usually done with chicken or lamb.
Oh, okay. I like salmon.
I'm not the biggest fan of it because every time my mom cooks it, she goes a little overboard and the fat pops out of the skin, which kills the flavor.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I
Because
like it seared.
she cooks it too damn high in the oven.
Oh, okay. Salmon's expensive. It's not cheap.
Especially wild caught.
Well, they have what? Fresh farm or something. There's a couple of different types of salmon. Wild
Yeah, but
salmon.
the best type, the healthiest type they say is wild caught.
Okay. So what did you think of the news today? It's been reported around. I also heard it that Green might be the GM or
Andy
be in
Green.
consideration.
Oh god, that would be a nightmare.
Well, I think they like the fact that he really knows the system, knows the
Okay.
player. He's getting to know the players, their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, but will he? Yeah, but he's another people pleaser. Will he just cave to when people want to say, I want out"?
I don't know. He seems in his post-game interviews, he's much different than Mendoza.
Yeah, he's not a broken record.
No, he is his own man a bit. He definitely
I thought you were talking about the fact you were going to tell me if I had heard about the Peter Cullen passing away, and yes, I have heard about that.
Peter Cullen?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Oh, he's dead.
I believe you.
Passed peacefully, surrounded by his kids and his wife and his grandkids.
Okay. That's a good way to go if you have to.
Now, who will be the next one to take the Matrix and light our darkest hour?
Well, it goes in threes, right?
Yep. I mean, we had Dolly on Monday or Tuesday. Then we had Tim Curry's death announced yesterday. And today it was Peter Collins.
I like Tim Curry.
Did you mean him before or after the stroke?
Before.
Mm.
Yeah, that stroke he went to a wheelchair after that, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't that old either.
He was 80, same age as Dolly.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know he was a lifelong bachelor either.
There were rumors that he might have been gay. He never addressed it really. He came out with a book a while back and he was skirting it.
That's why I say he was a lifelong bachelor.
Probably. Enzo, I don't think Green's a great manager. No, He wasn't in San Diego, but he might be a good general manager.
I didn't know that Dolly Parton died childless. Did you?
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Surrounded by nieces and nephews, yes, but and that's gone.
Oh,
Give Curry the hook already, damn it.
ridiculous. Sure, yeah.
Surrounded by nieces and nephews and great nieces and nephews, but no kids of her own.
That's surprising, actually.
I'm surprised she didn't even decide to adopt.
Yeah, it is surprising. I wonder why. Maybe with some people with their careers, they feel that they can't be a good parent. Enzo, that was a shot. He hit. Yeah, the Mets have to realize that just because you play some good ball over a 30 game, and that's a lot of games, 30 games, that doesn't mean you're good. It means the law of averages
And it
weren't
doesn't mean you're
under
getting.
20 lost team.
We'll be lucky if we even avoid 100 losses this year.
Hey Taylor, how are you? No, they could hit good pitching too, the Brewers. But there are a lot of play. The problem with the Brewers in the playoffs, they don't hit any home runs. You have to be able to hit.
Or if they do, they're just so. Or even if they do, most of the times it's solo home runs.
The problem in the playoffs is you're not against a really good pitcher. You're not going to string 3 hits together. That's why you need that one swing. Good pitcher. How many hits you going to get off a pitcher in an inning, right? You need a couple, 3, and you're not going to get that. One swing, 2-run homer.
And we saw all in that ALCS last year. How many NLCS last year? How many runs in each game did Milwaukee score against the Dodgers? Just one.
Well, usually playoffs is a little lower scoring. Braves 1-0 tonight. I think they won or lost. That was Sale against. That was a good matchup. Sale against Nakamoto. But yeah, look. I wish I could be disappointed in a Met game. I'm not disappointed anymore. You pretty much know what you're getting.
This game, when I found it was Mizorowski on the mound tonight, I was like, yeah, this one's an easy L.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you're not supposed to beat him. I was shocked that. Well, I thought they'd get a run or two off him, and then when he was having a problem with the mound. Yeah, but this game is over.
The only way Mizorowski starts to screw up is Mizorowski's biggest issue is he's over relying on his fastball, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a pitch that goes under 90 miles, right?
I don't think so. And when
that's
you have
going to screw him over. That's going to screw him over.
Yeah,
he's going to screw him over in a couple of years when his UCL gets shredded.
It could. He throws hard enough.
I mean, and once that thing's shredded within 2 or 3 years, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, it takes you a while. What do you think of Wheeler? Wheeler hasn't been the same.
What? Big issue.
Wheeler
he's openly stated. But hasn't he openly stated if we do get a playoff postseason, a regular season next year, it's going to be his last one?
Yeah, I think it will be now.
Because if we do, he doesn't want what happened to Steven Strasburg to happen to him. And we know Strasburg got abused by Washington.
Oh, yeah. He definitely
did.
Yeah. Tonight, Sale, 9 innings, 5 hits, 11 strikeouts. Yamamoto, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts. Sale was
Pronounce
unbelievable.
Yamamoto.
Yamamoto. Sale, I'll tell you, when he went bad with Boston a few years ago, I didn't think he was ever coming back. Thought he was finished. Sale's good. What did he just make out again, Alvarez? God.
Struck out again.
I would play Torrens the whole rest of the season. I'd play him 30 games. See what you got. You know what you have. They're
28.
going to try to trade Alvarez. I think Alvarez will be
28,
traded.
actually. 28, actually.
28? Alvarez is going to be traded.
After tonight, it'll be 28 games. Pratt lines out on the first pitch. Ewing lines out to Pratt on the first pitch. Is Cooper Pratt Todd Pratt's son?
I don't know. Might be. Yeah, Jeff. Well, they're getting outclassed in this series.
No,
they
he's
also
not.
went against the number 1 and 2 starter. They went against
no,
their
no, he's not.
He's not? Good
No,
player.
his parents are Russell and Heidi Pratt. His father used to play college at the baseball at the University of Utah.
Oh, really? Yeah, they went against their number 1 and 2 starter tonight. The last couple of games.
He's not related to Todd Pratt.
Oh, okay. I was there when Todd hit that big home run.
The one that won it against Arizona?
Yeah, and it looked like he caught the ball for a second.
You mean Steve Finley?
Yeah. He was a good player, Finley. Yes, Shea was rocking. He's been cool. Lindor really hasn't. Terrible at bats against Mizorowski.
Well, this is DL Hall up right now on the mound. Want to join me for the Astro game calls tomorrow on Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. What time?
3:00.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yankees are losing tonight, right?
Yep, and they got Boston this weekend, and I got to call the Saturday night game.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Cole had looked good up until tonight.
Considering
Lindor had one good swing in that bat. He's lined the ball hard. One swing in that bat here today. Enzo, I don't think he does, actually. I don't think he does. I think Alvarez will be traded. They'll go with a half and half. They'll try to get a catcher to go 50, 60 games.
And Lindor goes down swinging.
Yeah, they were just really outclassed.
Don't we get outclassed? Haven't we gotten outclassed the last 10 years by this fucking Brewers team?
Brewers team's good because they've been good. They don't line up well with the Mets. They make contact.
And
Mets don't do good against teams that make a lot of contact. Just goes to show you, they're one of the worst teams at hitting home runs. They beat you.
Well, duh. Milwaukee's a team built around contact and discipline, not power shots.
Right, and that's what
Christian
Stearns wanted. That Stearns wanted. He thought with Semien and Polanco and guys like that, they'd put the ball in play. Good defense.
And too bad for him, it effing backfired.
It really did.
Instead of owning up to the mistake, he doubled down on his ego.
I know. I just think that they've had enough of Alvarez. Now, I know he's a top 10 to 12 catcher, but he just doesn't do enough. His defense is atrocious. His defense is so bad. You look at Terrence behind there for a couple of games, you think you're watching Johnny Bench. But I don't believe Terrence could be an everyday catcher. I think he'd hit 220 if he played every day. And I think his defense would suffer too, because he's not used to starting that many games. You get tired behind the plate, you get hurt. Well, they have to get some starting pitching in here. Look at Holmes has been doing. Holmes has been amazing. How has that trade
Since
worked
hanging in
out?
Chicago.
He's been great. I wonder how much money Freddie Peralta cost himself this year. Has to be $60 million. Well, he'll never get a 5-6 year contract now. He's going to have to take a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
Bet on himself to go, 17-8 with a 2.9 ERA, and then go get 5 years at $150 million.
On the north side.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling Holmes is going to re-sign with the Cubs. I thought for sure he was coming back to the Mets. My friend told me he really wants to come back here. But I don't know. I think the Cubs have a legitimate shot to win the World Series.
The question is, can you really trust Craig Counsell? You know how bad his track record was
I know.
postseason in Milwaukee.
I know. I don't think Counsell would have done good here either. I don't think even though he was Chicago, I don't think he would have been done good in New York. I don't think his personality fits in New York. He's a Midwest guy.
True.
I think you might see David Ross if Green becomes GM. They're best friends. What would you think if David Ross is the Met manager?
I don't know. There may still be some grudges from 2016.
I don't know. They're pretty tight from what I heard. And Ross is a good manager. It is a high possibility, Andrew. I still think it's a high possibility.
I mean, sure, him winning that 2016 World Series and ending the title drought for the Cubs, yeah, that's a good start on his track record, but
sure.
Cubs went downhill after that under him, didn't they?
Yeah, a little. Did you ever go to Chicago?
Never been to Chicago. The closest I've gone to Chicago is Louisville, but even then I would have passed it and been closer to St. Louis.
Did you like Louisville?
It was fine. Only reason I went there with my mom, my dad, my little sisters, because my sister, again, I've told you this, she was into equestrian. She wanted to see the Derby track.
Right.
We wanted to see Churchill Downs, so we went to the Derby Museum.
Yeah.
And right across the roads were the Louisville Slugger Bat Factory. Papa John's.
That must have been interesting.
We didn't go in.
Oh, that would be interesting, probably, to see how that made.
The Papa John's Stadium, the home of the Louisville Cardinals, the football team from the NCAA team.
Oh, okay. Andrew Vaughn's up 1 out, top 9-8-2.
I mean, the last MLB stadium I've been to was Great American Ballpark in Cincy.
Does it look as small as they say? Does it play small inside? Like, it used to be a great hitter's park. It's not as great a hitter's park anymore. It used to be. It had that reputation.
I haven't been in there since 2013, to be honest.
When it was hot, they said the ball would fly out of there.
The game I went to against St. Louis, it did.
It did?
Even though most of the home runs were in favor of the Cardinals.
No. You heard Cincinnati's a good place. My friend went there.
I mean, I like the design of the stadium
Yeah.
and the atmosphere.
Yeah, they're a good baseball town. They have a lot of history, boy. Some good players came through Cincinnati.
But it was also responsible for one of the biggest scumbags in terms of managing a team.
Who's that?
Large Marge Stott.
Large Marge. Marge Schott was practically a Nazi. When Eric Davis punctured his lung and had to go to a specialist, she charged him for the airfare.
And when they won the World Series, she didn't pay for catering.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Shows how much of a cheapskate bitch she is.
Remember, she'd be with her dog, remember?
Yeah.
She'd be sitting in the box seats
And
with
she
her
got
dog.
and she got pissed when an ump died of a heat stroke during a ball game that they had to suspend because of that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Or the ump had a heart attack and died on the field at Old Riverfront.
Was that it? I remember when an umpire died.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. And he was
96
walking back
season.
to home plate and died. He was walking back from home plate.
And he suffered a heart attack and dropped dead, right?
Yeah.
Or how much her Buick dealerships fell apart.
Oh, really?
Don't remember the whole. If you've heard of the urinating tree guy, right?
The who?
Urinating Tree channel. He has a video on Stott.
No.
Four
Check this
sounds.
out. Check this out right here.
7 pitches into the new season, home plate umpire John McSherry motioned to the second base umpire, then turned, walked a few steps, and collapsed. Neither paramedics at the stadium nor doctors at University Hospital were able to revive him. And shortly after 3 p.m., pronounced the 51-year-old veteran umpire dead of heart failure.
He was giving multiple drugs. He was shocked multiple times when the rhythm indicated that it was needed. And when I say everything was done, I mean drugs, electricity, everything we do for anyone whose heart stops was done for this gentleman.
The sold-out crowd waited anxiously for an hour before the official word came. The game would be postponed.
As hard as it is to believe, some people booed when this game was called. Most people, though, say they were just frustrated that no announcement was made about what happened to John McSherry.
The information really would have helped. I mean, everybody in the crowd is on his side. It would have helped if they had said something to us.
Those on the field seemed to know, though. For Ray Knight, it was a terribly sad day, his first as manager of the Reds. He knew canceling opening day would be a difficult decision, but a good one.
I don't know how anybody could have played in that situation. It was just really difficult and hard, and right there before your eyes. The game of baseball is so insignificant to the game of life.
I think it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, that was I remember when that happened. John McSherry, yeah. Big John McSherry. Shows you what really is important, right?
Yep.
Runner at first, 2 out.
Force out that happened. Having a force out, by the way.
Oh, so now we're going to bottom 9?
No, I mean how Sanchez got there.
Oh.
Slow rolling bouncer by Sanchez. Bay was forced to fling it to Simeon to get Vaughn, but that was all they were able to get.
Here's a nice. He threw the ball away. My God.
What's Bichette's injury?
Day to day. He had a CAT scan today at hospital special surgery. His foot. They wanted to make sure that there was no small bone break. He'll probably be out though for the next couple of days.
ridiculous.
Although it looked like my friend said he thought he was going to pinch hit. I guess they felt better of it. Mets are terrible.
27, they better turn this shit around. If we even get a ball season in 27, rumors are the season might get canceled because of the bullshit of this lockout because the players don't want an effing salary cap. Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, there'll be a season.
Well, what will it take for the players to accept the necessity of a salary cap?
The salary cap? I
What will
don't
it
know
take
what
for them?
they want. I really don't know what they're going to want. Right now we go to the bottom of 9. Would this be the biggest comeback of the year if they came back and won this? Not that they're going to. Don't be afraid, everyone. I'm not going nuts. But would this be the biggest comeback of the year? Be some comeback, huh? Mets just, even through this, they break your heart a bit. Because when they're playing better, you think, oh, we don't have to be embarrassed anymore. And then they just do this. The theoretical land. Yeah, right. Theoretical. You got a better chance of seeing fucking Jesus walk behind me. Yeah, this is just lousy. Because you expect but you know what? If you would have told me they lost tonight, yeah, I figured they lost. But they threw the ball all over the place. Minaya has a 30-foot soft toss that he throws 8 feet away, and then home run the next batter. You don't know if that's a home run the next batter, if he gets that out. Big difference being down 2-0 or, total difference. They just, they revert back. They'll play some really good baseball, and then they revert back to throwing the ball all over the place. You're right. You're right. Andrew, I do know that the owners are making a fortune. I know that the players are making a fortune. The players are right. The owners are making billions. No, they have to have a floor. You should get fined if you don't hit the cap. Just like they give you a fine for not staying within the guidelines. Well, if you don't hit the floor, you get fined as well. And you start losing draft choices like they do when you go over them. That's what they have to start doing. And you can't tell people how to spend their money when they're an owner. Well, yeah, you can. If it's for the betterment of the game. If you could raise the tax because of Steve Cohen, then you could make a floor. Right?
Yep.
If you can't play in a competitive market, don't own the team. Because I'll tell you what, and most owners of baseball teams are billionaires. You're right, Andrew. And now we know how to
Base hit
dodge.
for Cody Roberts.
What?
Base hit
Boy,
by
Roberts wants
Robert.
to say. He's played well. He really has. But look, it's not a big surprise that if Robert's healthy, he plays well. He's a talented player. But the problem is, once he gets into a good groove, he'll get hurt.
True. Have you ever heard of a hot dog called the Big Apple?
No.
It's all beef frank, apple butter, green peppers, and onions.
Apple butter's good. I don't know how it goes with a hot dog.
Neither do I. I mean, most I see down here are Carolina dogs, which are just mustard, slaw, chili, and onions.
No, really?
Mm-hmm.
How much is a dog where you live?
I don't know. I mean, I know there's a hot dog shop in downtown Concord, but I don't go to it all that frequently. It's like $3 to $5 a dog.
That's not bad.
But like I said, I don't go to it that often.
Shot Hunter Brown tomorrow.
Because I try to go for more upper scale convenient foods.
Conditions.
Like there's such as there's this little Vietnamese Japanese hybrid shop next to the library.
Oh. Do they walk
So it
in
sells
when you
some
walk in? Do they go ha?
No, it's actually run by a few Americans. Actually, Pops
I went
it
to a
up.
really. That's it, right? I went to a famous Italian restaurant. You know who was working the grill? 2 Dominican guys and a Chinese guy.
Huh.
And it was the best chicken parmesan I ever had in my life. I swear to you.
I
Just
know
goes to show you.
I know a pizza parlor near me that's actually run by Latinos.
Good night, Tuck. Thank you for coming in.
Anyway, they sell pho, hibachi, and sushi in there.
I like sushi.
Have you ever had pho?
No.
It's that Vietnamese soup. Ground ball. All that barely leaves the plate. Sanchez fires fun. Brewers win 8-2.
I have to tell you something. I like how they celebrate Milwaukee. They're very classy. You notice that?
What do they do?
They don't go nuts.
No, what do they do?
All right, so we lose this game. My quick thoughts on it. We were never in it.
Well,
Once we lost, one way down 2-0, we weren't in it. But the funny thing is, if we hold them to 2 runs, we'd be in extra innings.
But even
we
then,
scored 2 runs.
Even if we did, I don't think the outcome changes all that much.
No, we scored 2 runs against a Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, was this basically an easy L because it was Mizorowski? Yes.
Yeah.
Regardless of how outcomes played out.
And I have a feeling that's why he used this lineup.
So basically throw the damn towel in and get it over with.
Well, you knew Bichette wasn't playing. My friend told me last night that he was going for an MRI.
I mean, last night you took out one of their best pitchers on a comebacker that turned into an out.
Oh, that was hit hard.
What part of the shoulder did it get him in?
I think around here. And I'll tell you something. That would have been negligence if they let him pitch.
So basically in around what? What muscle would that be?
Lat?
So lat. So what? So near UCL?
Yeah. And the thing is, if you're feeling a pain and you just pitch differently, you could hurt your back, you could blow out your elbow. You can't let him pitch. Now, he was on the bench. He looked like he was fine today. But that had to hurt. It was hit 106 miles an hour, that ball. But look, you're supposed to lose this game. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you're supposed to lose this game. This isn't the game that concerns me. The game, I would have felt much better if you lose this game 4-2 and you didn't have pitchers throwing the ball all over the place and you didn't have Lindor looking terrible because, Lindor, again, you're a veteran now. You shouldn't be looking that bad 3 consecutive times up at the plate.
True.
I could see you batting left and Mizorowski gets you with a 3,000 RPM curveball or whatever. But, this is what it is. Alvarez is terrible. I don't even talk about Alvarez anymore. I just want Alvarez off the team. And look, I've totally accepted like Alvarez being my ex-girlfriend. Your ex-girlfriend doesn't work out with you. She ends up being mother of the year and marrying a guy, and they're married 150 years and they love each other. It wasn't going to happen with me. So what's the difference? Good luck, good riddance. That's what it is. Alvarez is going to beat you for 10 years with a couple of big hits. He's going to make a couple of all-star teams. And all of a sudden he's going to be a great catcher. You know it. But if he's never going to do it for you, what's the difference? Get someone in here that can help you. And while he's worth something to trade, which, listen, I know he's not having a good year. He's still rated between 10th and 12th with OPS, with catchers in the major leagues. He's 25 years of age. There's no way no one will take him. Catch him 70 times a year, DH him 50 times, let him sit for 20, 30. You can trade him. Preferably put him in a package where you can get yourself a top-notch minor leaguer and maybe a controllable, but you do it. You definitely do it. Because what are you going to wait for him to hit 220 next year and and then you can't trade him? There are still GMs that will say, you know what? This guy's just too talented. Maybe it's New York. We bring him here. And believe me, the Mets remember Darno. Darno became an all-star.
In Atlanta.
And Alvarez arguably was a better prospect than Darno. And he's younger. Darno's 27 or 28 when they let go of him.
And he ended up becoming a world champion in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, he's 25 years old, Alvarez. The problem with Alvarez is if Stearns trades him and he becomes an all-star, Stearns is the villain.
It's what happened with Alonso, even though Pete didn't become an all-star this year in Baltimore.
Well, that's why you make $10 million a year. So you're the villain and you have to fucking deal with it. That's the bottom line. If you want to give me $10 million a year, I'll let everybody hate me on YouTube also.
Why not have him drink that beer or water or whatever it was in Pinocchio that turned all the boys into donkeys? So that way he'll see how he's made such a jackass out of himself.
I knew there would be a good punchline there. I was waiting for it.
And then we can sell him off to a salt mine.
A salt mine? So
what? There's probably probably some mines that sell salt.
I'm sure. So we lose 2 out of 3. We didn't get swept. Remember in the good old days, 2 months ago when I was telling you, we can't get swept, law of threes. Now it's 3 hours a night I sleep over this team and almost 3 heart attacks a day. But you know what? You know what the great thing is?
What?
We're 6 months away from saying, wow, this month baseball. If they solve their differences. And I think they will. I think there's too much money involved for both teams to go out, both leagues, both sides. Too much money involved. I think they'll miss 2 weeks. 144 games they'll play. That's what I think. For the show of solidarity, they're going to have to walk out. But, it's kind of like a wink-wink deal where the players' union and the owners will say, I know we got to be out a couple of weeks to look like you were working. We have to do it to look like we were sticking up, and in 2 weeks we'll come back. That's exactly what's going to happen there. You don't think they really want to lock out, do you? Lose a fortune. A lockout.
I mean, look at what happened with the NBA lockouts. Look what happened with the NHL lockout.
Now, also, by the way, I think one of the reasons why you might not see some players that you would have liked to see up in September, then they'll have to be added to the 40-man roster, and then they can't play in the minor leagues next year. I think the Mets want their guys to play. And they're probably not ready anyway. You know, what do you need, Rojas to come up and go 4 for 40? You know, you don't need that. But it definitely, yeah, lowered standards. My God, you're right. But we are just, that's where we are now, you know, rooting for next March to come. But we'll be okay. I really do believe we will be okay. Because, you know, this isn't a team that I think has no talent. I think we have some talent. We're not a top 5 team, but we're certainly a possible playoff contender. And you know what? Anything could happen. You see teams. You get to the playoffs, you have a couple of good pitchers, anything can happen.
True.
Now, there are a couple of things that I'm not happy about, which I am concerned about. One is Kristen Scott. He needs a third pitcher. He's a relief pitcher. And, you know, if we went out and got Skubal, I'm not saying we're going to, would you have a problem if Scott was your 8th inning guy next year?
No.
I wouldn't. Or even your closer. Because I honestly, I know Singer's been okay. Singer's not going to be the closer next year. I think they were praying he'd do well so they could trade him. I don't think they have any interest in him being the closer next year. I think they were trying to showcase him. You don't really think they want Singer on this team, do you?
Probably not.
No, they wanted to say, you see, he can really give us something for him. They didn't want to just outright release him. But I think that Scott, you know, Scott's a relief pitcher. He's got terrific stuff, but he needs that third pitch to start. You can't start with 2 pitchers. You can't. Yes, I would get rid of. First of all, he's taking up a spot. You can't pitch him certain days. You got to worry about his mental health. Which, look, there's nothing wrong with worrying about someone's mental health, but you know, not when we're trying to win a World Series. You know, go to Detroit and do that. Don't do that here. So I really do believe that they'll make enough moves to get us excited. That's what I would say. They will make enough moves that we'll be excited about next year because they do it every year. Now, this year we were upset about Alonso and Nemo and all that, but we were still excited. Soto's first real season settled in, right? Lindor came back after he was supposed to be out. He came back a week before he was supposed to. So, look, Lindor's healthy. We got lucky. We got past the big injury.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Since hockey season's coming up, I know you're not a fan of the Ranger of the
Me,
Islanders.
I'm a big fan.
I meant to say Islanders. I screwed up.
Okay.
But what do you think of their new third design jersey?
Let me see.
It's basically a lighthouse. I mean, it's basically their colors, except they replaced the Islander guy from the '90s uniform and just put a lighthouse and just use the lighthouse.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see it. I'm looking for it. New lighthouse? Is that what it is?
Navy lighthouse, but yeah. Oh, wrong button.
I see one with fish sticks on it.
Well, it's not to be released until the 27-28 season, but
Oh,
still.
hold on. Oh, I got it. I have it. Let's see. Right there, right?
Yeah.
It's not bad. I don't know what. I don't know why they always have to just change everything.
I still don't understand why the team's mascot's an effing dragon.
Let me look. What time is my mob thing tonight? Be nice if I knew when I'm going back on, because it seems like it's a loop. I'm always on here. I'm never off.
Which is why I only do one video a day.
My computer's going to start telling me go fuck myself. Tonight, oh, it's supposed to be 10:45. Oh man, I am going to have to change that to 11 because there's no way I'll be ready. So let me change that to 11. So we lose tonight. We're supposed to lose tonight. We could have lost worse. We threw the ball all over the place. But I will tell you this much. It is what it is.
Honestly, we should have been swept with how bad we played on Tuesday.
We should have been. Yeah, we should have been swept. We were lucky. We were definitely lucky to win that game. Our bats didn't do anything the whole series. But you see, when we faced their two good pitches, we couldn't get a hit. You know, though, they're tremendous. Let me just.
I'm gonna hop out, Vinny.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
Night.
Take care, brother. Okay, I changed the time. So in about 45 minutes, I'll be on. Look, it's a disappointing loss. Yeah, Ray, he didn't look like the Manaea of, I don't know, 10 starts ago. But it is what it is. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Mets lose. I think Green will be in serious consideration for the GM job. Does he get it? The only way Green gets is if I think they really wanted Beltran to be the GM, but I don't think Beltran wants to be the GM, honestly. And I think also because then Stearns is going to be looking over his shoulder. And I don't think they want that dynamic. I know that Beltran didn't take the job this year. He was going away. He didn't want to miss 3 weeks with the team after first taking them over. He's going with his wife on vacation after Hall of Fame. And it was too close to Mendoza. He's very close to Mendoza. He felt he was just taking over his job. It's easier when the season's over and you start fresh. But I do think that David Ross is definitely going to be on the staff. I think he's going to be the bench coach. That's just my opinion. And I think that you may see J.D. Martinez as the hitting coach. Everyone, I will see you tomorrow night. Come in tonight at 11. You'll check out my 3 Mob movie. And they're not the conventional movies, but they're really good. Take care, everybody.